going to drop into your breath. We'll do some 4-4-4 breathing, actually. It'll be a 4 count in. This is box breathing. 4 count in, holding for 4, squeezing your belly, sucking in your belly button, pushing against your third eye, exhaling for 4, and then at 80% on the exhale, hold for 4. So we'll do some box breathing, dropping us into our physical bodies. I know it's early in the day for most of us, releasing any stress or misalignments. Starting to call in your personal guides now as well. 3, 2, 1. Deep breath into the crown. 3, 2, 1. Hold for 4. Exhale for 4. Holding at the bottom. Welcome in, Christina. For 4, we're breathing. Recovery breath. We'll do 4 of these. So 3, 2, 1. Big deep breath into the crown. Squeeze. Exhaling out like you're fogging up a glass. Holding at the bottom. 3, 2, 1. Deep breath into the soul star. Sit. Hold. Exhale. Holding at the bottom. Last breath here. 3, 2, 1. Deepest breath yet. Sit. Hold. Squeeze. Exhale. Holding at the bottom. Returning to a normal breath. Starting to call in your guides, your higher self, your highest, purest essence, Oversoul Collective, my highest self, my guides. Dragon, big dragon energy. Whew, man. Galactic Dragon, Octarius, right out of the gate. Wow. Welcome in. Inviting in all of the galactic children, our inner child, your personal council, your galactic council, pertinent multidimensional soul aspects, inviting them into the field, our galactic logisticians, the galactic dolphins, galactic whales as well. Inviting in the Galactic Unified Council, setting the intention now that only the highest golden, diamond, and crystalline templates and above for our greatest good step forward. So inviting in the Galactic Unified Council with that intention, inviting in Quantum Home Base and their council as well. I've been referring to them as kind of like a council of light, but we'll just call them the Quantum Home Base rather. QH, Quantum Home Base. And then also the Venusian Council. Any other councils that you're working with personally. 12D and above Armatena. Frequency of Holy Fire. Violet Flame too, stepping forward with Saint Germain as well. Yeah, that's interesting to assist. siana ka tu otu ora a siana ti shoko otar. Any other guides, helpers at this time? The four directions: north, south, east, west. Taking some time here before we start to do our code channeling to call forward your intention. Knowing that your intention is powerful, your words, your voice, your toning, your octave is fully aligned and activating. Take some time here to call forward your personal intention for our session today. Speak it out loud. Even though you're on mute, it is completely fine. The field is open. We are in a sacred space together. This space is gridded, protected, free from any distortion, free from any illusion. Activating that intention together, holding that intention in your heart. And turning it over to Lenny.
Yeah, thank you for that. Let's center our attention and our awareness on the councils that have stepped forward to communicate to us today. Aligning our whole field with our perfected ancient future self, with our unified awareness, the depth of our unapologetic authenticity. And asking these councils to step forward with the messages that we are ready to receive at this time. It doesn't appear that I have that particular notebook with me today, but it's funny because the cards that I was pulling as we were starting are very reflective of the themes of the Unified Galactic Council, the Venusian Council, and the Galactic Children. So we may have to channel into what we saw before when we were looking at Venus. I think I remember, if I remember right, it was something collective, and it had to do with connection of some kind.
Absolutely. I'm starting to try and remember, but that's okay. Maybe we can meet in kind of like a central location for our code channeling session. And the way the code channeling works is if something's coming through for you, feel free to just kind of unmute and just speak it into the field, because that helps us kind of like bounce what we're all seeing, feeling, knowing, remembering collectively. So if it feels most aligned to you, You can meet up in the sun's radiance room, or if you have another sacred space that is much more aligned for channeling, feel free to start from there. If you may remember, in the sun's radiance room, we have our own personal pod or area. This is all yours. The galactic children are just piling in. And they're like, this place is cool. Absolutely. Go bananas. Create. Yeah, so if we can meet up in the sun's radiance room, and then starting to turn our attention towards that Venusian Council. You may remember before we talked about in the center of the sun's radiance room, kind of this like prismatic toroidal portal. Got right ear confirmation on that as well. So if that helps you to kind of like visualize, if that helps you with your channel, if you're much more aligned to just working in the field, asking for that as well, because we absolutely need people who are able to hold the field in a very quantum frequency for us. Wow, the council looks very interesting to me. Completely different frequency than what I was originally channeling before. I mean, I wasn't really connected to them. We were more concerned with like actually gridding the planet of Venus itself, and it's been, I don't know, a month and a half, maybe 2 months. Could be longer than that. Yeah, what I'm seeing is like very light. Like their bodies are made out of light. They're super like light. I wouldn't say holographic, almost translucent in a way. And on what I'm being drawn to specifically is on their head. I forget what it's called. Like when you have like, if you look at my picture, when you have like this like you see it in a lot of like religious like text. This isn't religious, but I'm just trying to describe it. It's like a fan. Like on your picture, your background for healing Lunalomi 96. Like see how there is this like, what is that called? It's usually like gold. It's like fanned out. Sometimes it's like a half circle. But what I'm seeing is like very colorful, very prismatic. What is that called? Is it a mandala that sits behind the head? It's not a halo because the halo is like down. This is like just like your picture background is.
I know what you're talking about. The first word that came to mind was mandala. I don't know if that's accurate for the placement behind the head necessarily, but I know what you mean.
Mm-hmm. It looks very similar to what's around your picture, but very super prismatic, like very like shooting out, but very prismatic. So it's very linear, very fan-like, but like so many different colors. That's like the first thing that I noticed when I looked at them, was like, and they're holding something in their hands. They're holding like, the word that I got told was scrolls, but it doesn't look like a scroll to me. It can look whatever it looks like to you, but very like large books, or even like scrolls is the human word that wants to come out, but it looks like a book. It looks like tablets in a way, and it's a gathering. There's like several of them that I can see with this very prismatic. So if that's helpful to you. I'm being also shown a pattern of rings. Let's call it 8. I don't know. It reminds me of like the Olympics, but not arranged in that shape. It's like a pattern of light rings around the head. She said a nimbus. Okay. Perfect. Thank you, Christina. So a series of 8 rings are golden, and they're elevated. So like I'm asking, is it like above Venus? And they move together. So they move kind of like in a snake-like fashion or form. And then like 3i had popped in, and I was like, no, I don't need to think about 3i, but it almost feels like it's above Venus, and it's like tracking. Like when 3i popped in, and I was like, no, thank you, not aligned for what I'm channeling. Like this pattern of like 8 large rings, right? Olympic size, like huge rings, like just waved, like almost snake-like, and they were seeking in a way, I guess is the channeling word that comes through, but I don't know. I'm just trying to put it together and see if any of this stuff helps other people, what they're seeing.
Yeah, what I'm seeing kind of looks like a neural network in a way. I'm seeing the connections between planets in the solar system, and I'm seeing different threads and like colors throughout that are weaving together. It's almost like the system itself is like vibrating in a way, like when you play a string on a violin and it kind of has that motion. Is how I'm seeing the energy and the frequency with the vibration kind of rippling out.
Yeah, I also just verified our previous, remember we had gridded, and then our like called in the higher dimensional version like down. So I just verified that all that is still like fully aligned active. They showed me what the higher dimensional versions of Venus looks like, and very, very like just flashed it before my eyes, like I don't know, 20 different versions of it, and I was like, oh, interesting. I guess the question we'll ask into the field and state as we tap in. It feels like there's a bit of calibration too. So whatever form of calibration that you need to take, whether it's toning, light language, meditation, breath, I'm just kind of connected to our session itself, and it just feels like there is a little bit of calibration as well, so feel free to do that for yourself, and maybe it'll help kind of sharpen the contrast of this harmonic like resonant frequency rather. The question I would ask is, in the now moment, what is most aligned for this Venusian Council to bring forward for us and for the collective that is present? So just stating that into the field. And if anyone has any Venusian soul aspects, pertinent soul aspects, asking them to step forward as well at this time. I'm seeing a version of that neural network, but it's coming through as like very spiral like DNA frequency. They put like their tablet, which is like obnoxiously large, into something, and then I just had them bring it up because I was like, hey, let me see. Also, I got a ping for who's from Venus. I asked, and there's somebody very prominent that's from Venus, and then a member of our society, like Western society, that's from Venus, and then that lady that has channeled the cure for cancer popped in as well. And I was like, well, we already have the cure, like what else is there? So that's when they were bringing up their tablet and they showed me kind of that DNA spiral, because we're going through a lot of like collective and personal upgrades as well. So I'd love to hear if anybody else is getting anything that's coming through in the field for them.
Yeah, that DNA frequency in a way feels a bit like almost like an advanced nervous system like connection in a way, or like template maybe is a better word. So it kind of feels like opening a pathway to bring that in and anchor it. Might be something.
Yeah, that feels right. That feels right, absolutely. I heard new human template. I think we've used the word full spectrum, but I heard specifically new human template when you mentioned that. And it was the quantum home base that actually stepped forward and like, yeah, we can help with that. It's almost in the vein of like we thought you would never ask. Like we've connected to you guys like months ago, and you've essentially asked us for nothing, but this is something that we can help with. So yeah, the nervous system, I'm channeling like the lungs as well, has been very like prominent. And I feel like just intuitively connecting into that message that you brought through too. Like our breath is very healing. Your breath can actually change the physiology of your body. Literally just by breathing, you can change the physiology of your body. So maybe that's why it's coming into, and I know it doesn't sound like super spiritual. It's like, oh, just breathe and you can calm yourself down. Conscious neurons on a triangular grid for an hour or so. Yeah, please drop that into the chat. We'd love to see it, Christina. But that's just what came through for me as well. And then asking the Quantum Home Base Council, our friends there, in the most aligned way to step forward with either a frequency or a message or they said frequency. A word picture, something that we can kind of co-channel in together. And they also said if you're kind of struggling to connect to them, that you can call in a personal field of quantum flow, and within that energetic field of quantum flow, then you can that may help you call in this council that we're conversing with, the Quantum Home Base Council is a council that we've been channeling them for, I don't know, 3 months now, 2 or 3 months. There is a feminine figure who is the kind of like their PA person, but there's also other council members, and they all kind of weave together in. They just said unity resonance, definitively.
I'm sensing there might be some kind of exchange here between planets, too. Like, I kind of feel like Mercury might have something for Venus. Maybe it's the other way around. I don't know. I'm kind of circling around this idea. So I'm kind of tapping on these councils that we're working with to assist with some clarity or confirmation or
No,
maybe
Mercury for Venus feels right. Yeah, as soon as you said it, I was like, yes. I was being shown like little blue circles, like streaming towards Venus. I'm guessing they're going across the grid, essentially.
I was dropping codes through light language, if I may.
Yeah, please.
Pero kulikerata kerata kurata taria karata turu turu tarata ko kulikerata karata takara ko ata kerata tikerata ko kataratu kataraka karata kira taraka karawata kerata kitakara turu 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 and that is complete.
Thank you for sharing that. There's something too that I'm being reminded. It's almost like they're leading me to like tunnel's not quite the right word. It's more like a conduit or like a data stream in a way. It's like a channel for the data to come through as like almost through a portal in a way. So it's like they're showing me some pieces that I've already seen, and they're like, this is why you gathered those pieces. Let us show you how to put them together and where they go. So there was something that we did when JJ's group went to visit the Giza Plateau, and we had our whole adventure down the Nile River into all the sacred sites. There was one day in particular where there was two sites that we visited, and the group split up so that we could be at both sites at the same like linear time, but then the group that was at the one temple met up with the group that was at the other temple at the other temple to like complete that anchoring process. And the way I started to see it was like almost like a portal. And so each of the groups being on either side of that portal to anchor and kind of lock it in. And then when I just got home from Vegas the other day, and when I did, what I was kind of shown was almost like an extension of that process in a way, because it was like I gridded the in-between space of those two sacred sites that were creating that bridge, if you will. So like where the group created the bridge, like I went and connected the dots in a way, almost like the two ends of a filament in a light bulb. And like in the middle, there's like that filament is what, connects the two so that the light bulb can shine, essentially. And so when I got home from that excursion to Vegas, what I felt was a big completion energy. And it was kind of like being in a hall of mirrors or something, or like a Halloween house. And you know how there's always like things that are gonna jump out from around a corner, or like it was kind of Jack in the Box like energy, like that the surprise, but like surprise from the shadow in a way. And so as I was sitting with the completion piece of that, what I felt was all that Jack in the Box energy, like release, let the Jack out of the box, and in doing so, it just like what's the word? It like lifted out of the whole system. And then I started to feel like the recalibration process to begin. And so that's what I'm being reminded is like we're gathering these pieces to connect these dots to bring the data through and anchor it in our awareness. So I think that's part of this. And maybe there's multiple planets that have information to exchange. Almost like I think we were talking about vaults at some point. Remember when we were talking about vaults on Earth, but then we were talking about maybe on vaults on different planets, and maybe there's a level of like wisdom protection, or like protection of our history and our records, that maybe we're discovering and uncovering, like kind of how we separated all the pieces to keep like the deeper wisdom safe, and now we're unlocking the doors to allow them to come back together and rebuild itself into that higher octave level. So just inviting those pieces to land in their optimal locations, in their perfect structure, allowing them to come together and solidify and crystallize in this higher awareness, anchoring into each planetary sphere as appropriate for this current time, in perfect flow and perfect harmony, as aligned with the unified field. And in a way, it kind of looks like a Chinese finger trap the way I'm seeing it, because there's many layers to this, but it's almost like if the Chinese finger trap is like, it's kind of woven so you can see kind of squares of a checkerboard, right? And it's almost like each of those squares looks like a mirror, and like the mirrors are like rotating and it like from facing inward into the like finger trap or cylindrical space, if you will, and they're rotating like in and out and in and out in different ways and different patterns. And I think that's maybe part of the kind of feels like turning on the like, I don't know if transistor is the right word, but like the component of the system that like sends data through this piece of it. So just ensuring that that piece is calibrated properly to our intentions. And it's like, in a way, it's like the Chinese finger trap is like kind of like a straw that's like poked into each planet the way that I'm seeing it. And so there's like, there's a lot of mechanics going on here. So just holding space for that to come into its divine original blueprint in the most aligned way.
Yeah, what I'm being shown is that network, right, or straw that you described, and thank you for bringing it through like that, because I was able to really kind of showing like a much more organic, like I'm seeing a tree of life. I was shown the tree of life, and imagine a tree of life, but like the earth version of a tree as that like organic, right? And then like the roots are like kind of into the sun, because you said it was like a Chinese finger trap, so I just replaced it with like the tree of life and then this organic tree, but like very avatarish. Okay, so the roots are essentially like into the sun. The rest of the tree goes through the rest of the entire solar system, and then at the end is where all of the different like leaves and tendrils. And remember from like Avatar, like the very first one. I'm not talking about like 2 or 3, right? The very first one, how it was just like this organic neural web with very like wisp-like, very like the colors of my background in a way. And then like once you kind of have that, but like that's just a very crude description of it in my human words. There's like a vertical aspect too, because the Galactic Unified Council was essentially like pulling my kind of awareness like up and out. So there's also this kind of like vertical connection, like higher density, higher dimension connection to this kind of like resonant frequency that we're building, or that we're gridding, or that we're remembering. And you mentioned earlier, just like you plucking the string on an instrument, and it sends that sound wave out and reverberates through, let's just say, our local solar system. Like I'm much more galactic, but just imagine like it reverberating across that tree that I was describing, and then moving like vertical. So it moves all directions. Sound isn't limited to those. It goes in all directions, basically. And even it kind of reminded me too of what we were talking about earlier. So like a similar frequency, but different as within. So without as above, so below. So imagining like our nervous system, our lungs, our bronchioles, our alveoli, your trachea, like your physical body as a representation of that, tree, right? Or that tree of life, whatever feels most resonant for you. And then you can kind of like grid that or weave that frequency like up and out and make that kind of connection that we were chatting about earlier, and it reminds me too of like the river delta. We were just in Egypt, and Aurora is going to Egypt along with some of our friends who may potentially be listening to the playback. And the river delta of the Nile, very rich, fertile, green, luscious, alive, absolutely like gridded, absolutely like high frequency, a very similar divine design to it in a way too.
So circling back to the planetary exchange, I just want to thank Aurora for sharing this Stargates map, because I'm looking at the one in the middle, and Mercury and Venus are right next to each other. So I'm almost kind of seeing I'm seeing the weaving, I'm seeing it circulate and spin and kind kind of work its way through the system. Like it's almost like it was clogged up, but we put Drano in it. Like everything that we've been doing lately, we'll say recently, has been putting Drano in the system and like allowing it the time to work its way through. And now that we're looking at it in this way from, this frequency and intention, and with the councils that have stepped forward doing it in co-creation together, I just see I see all of the, it almost looks like, how when you run a defrag on your computer and it brings up the screen and it like pulls the pixels out that aren't serving, the hard drive, and then it kind of compresses and it goes through this process where it's just like um working the data in the system to allow for more space in the system, to allow for proper flow and maybe better connection, and it just amplifying its true nature. So I'm just like seeing this whole tree of life start to really kind of unrust itself and lubricate itself and start to move and turn and spin in a way that feels really good. And I can kind of see like beyond Mercury and Venus. I can like if you kind of look at the bottom half of that map, it kind of feels like Maldek is helping to in a way supervise, oversee, whatever you want to call that, but like help to look at this process and ensure the highest alignment. Because what I see next is an exchange between Earth and Mars. And then those two exchanges maybe start to weave and come together and spin. And then Jupiter and Saturn like get on board and start playing in this field. And I'm just watching it kind of rotate and shift and up level its energy in motion. And it's like the whole system, the whole solar system is like, thank you for seeing us. Thank you for asking for help. Thank you for modeling, your own growth process in such a way that helps us to reflect to each other with the clarity it takes to really massively co-create these shifts that have been needed for such a long time.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that through, and I typed in the chat, so once again, as above, so below, and essentially what you described is what we've been in our community working through together and overlaying and anchoring that frequency matrix architecture into our physical bodies, mental bodies, and emotional bodies, that frequency of quantum harmonization. We've all been kind of walking our own version of that, calling in our own version of personal restoration, in turn anchoring in that quantum harmonization frequency, and it's almost like word for word on a very like solar, like cosmic scale. As we've been anchoring this quantum harmonization within our physical bodies, in turn, what you described is a very local solar system, cosmic description of that, like almost exactly like the way that I see it. Again, it's a frequency, but you did an amazing job of essentially like as individuals and as communities and as the collective and as the field remembers these things and then activates them and then anchors and embodies that quantum harmonization, we can in turn model that and share that frequency out into the solar system, out with these councils, And it was interesting that the quantum home base specifically came through with like lungs and nervous system. So yeah, absolutely. Just wanted to provide you that confirmation on the frequency of quantum harmonization as well. So thank you. And there's something too that came through. It's like releasing the way it came out, the way it was channeled was like releasing the need to control, but that doesn't feel like the most aligned way to like say it. It's really like as we're remembering our like true divinity, right? As we're remembering our true dharma, our soul's purpose. Really, it's very natural to kind of get caught up in the human side of things and kind of like overthink or kind of get bogged down in a way, like you said, like the pipes getting clogged up by the human versus our multidimensionality. And really, I think the message that I'm hearing and I'm feeling and I'm sensing right now is that a lot of these things that we're remembering together, especially in community and on this call, and we're anchoring into our solar system and the galactic grid play, is to not get too, like, don't get lost in the sauce, basically. I guess that's a strange way, an interesting way of putting it, but really it's like about remembering, it's about witnessing, it's about releasing, and then what we're able to basically embody and anchor. That's where, specifically on this call, where it comes into play. Don't get like overwhelmed by like the complexity, or don't get, if you're not seeing it the exact way, or if you're not, exactly like attuned, because there is like a calibration portion to this as well. It's okay to just work in the field and know that that is like fully aligned for what we're doing. So I just wanted to share that. Thank you. And also inviting in our galactic harmonicians, galactic architects, galactic builders as well, our personal record keepers, to step forward in the most aligned way. The harmonicians, our masters at harmonizing, harmonizing rather, kind of the
like harmonizing better.
Harmonizing, like playing a harmonica. I just imagine my harmonicist just like a homeless man out in a much more galactic version of that. Just harmonizing that frequency, our builders and our architects essentially kind of anchoring that architecture as well. I see like the weavers too. I'm being shown the grandmother weavers, but I'm imagining like my own personal weaver, whether it's like timelines or frequencies or pure like sound octave harmonics itself. There's many different ways to connect to that frequency that Lenny was bringing through here. So just trying to articulate that in a way that co-channel together.
I'm kind of feeling like the quantum home base crew has something to add to this.
Yeah, I'm connected to them. It's really I'm trying to like say this in the most aligned way possible, and it really we're all kind of like, we haven't co-channeled together their frequency, and that's okay as well. And they definitely have something to bring forward, but it's really like and I can't say it in any other way. It's a calibration. It's not just like a quantum. It's a personal. It's the call. It's like it's us weaving in this grid itself. Calibration. But I agree with you absolutely. There is something that they want to bring forward in the most aligned way, but it's and let me try and just calibrate some, and let's see how that feels, if you guys are okay with that. If not, say nothing and I'll continue. So yakato otira akati shoko oto otiyaka ati, Body and the Dragons too. Hiyakato oto oti shishana akati yakata ati yoko oto shidyarati yakata ati seto Kiyanata akatu oto otira Shiratika atu oto oti shishara ara akiyaka atu soto. They're saying if you have access to your Merkaba, you can use that as well. If you have access to the updated frequency of your Merkaba, Hirakati shoko oti yanka ko oti shishika ata araka hachiya ka otu otina ati shishita. Let's see. I'm being shown a higher dimensional frequency. Amber, copper, golden. I don't know how to describe this. Imagine a very thin pillar of light dropping down from the higher dimensions, and it's essentially like it's forming a cross. So there's two, right? This is very like 3D, but this isn't 3D. So I'm being shown essentially, when I'm talking about the calibration itself, I'm being shown like this pillar that I described to you. I'm being shown one coming up and meeting in the middle, and like essentially like dialing it in. It's actually much more it's much more higher dimensional, but I'm just giving you a word picture on how I can describe it. It's like, how do you describe a 4D or 5D shape? You basically, it casts a shadow and it drops down into the 3D, and we're looking at the shadow, and that's what I'm looking at, the shadow of this thing that they're showing me. Definitely more there, but I'm complete for now. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm getting something with that. What I'm kind of seeing pieced together is, feels like an up-leveled, upgraded, almost like maybe higher octave version of the Merkaba itself. Because what I'm kind of looking at looks like a deconstructed version of it, but as these upgrades are taking place and it's, kind of spinning and doing its thing and like kind of coming back together, it looks like a diamond. Almost like the two tetrahedrons of the Merkaba that we traditionally know, like kind of got smushed together too far. Like if you kind of release those in a way and just line up the two tetrahedrons in such a way that it's they're kind of flat up next to each other. There's like this membrane in between them that I'm being shown that I'm not 100% certain like about, but it's almost it's like a mechanism to help hold the alignment between the two tetrahedrons to keep them together as they spin. But there's something happening in the middle where it's like it allows a much more free-flowing like transmission of data in the inside of where those two meet, because you're taking away the like all the different surfaces that are kind of cluttering up that space in a way and making it just an open space, if that makes sense. And I don't know how this applies or relates. It's just kind of what is dropping in at the moment.
No, I'm with you on that, and thank you for bringing that forward. And I love the pictures that Aurora shared in the chat. Thank you, Aurora. That everybody shared in the chat. Yeah, what I'm channeling into, and I'm saying like being told, but what I'm channeling into is essentially this. What you're bringing forward has to do with our quantum harmonization frequency. And don't take that as like, it's much more because we're galactic, right? So as within, so without. So when we anchor and embody and call in and remember our own personal quantum harmonization, and then we're channeling these frequencies that we're talking about and we're co-channeling together, and I got right ear confirmation on that, and then weaving that, gridding that, in a very like multidimensional galactic astral adventure type of frequency, that's the connection for me, is that personal quantum harmonization does involve all layers of your physical, mental, emotional, auric, down past the subatomic. So when we're remembering harmonization and we're calling it across all lifetimes, dimensions, realities, and spaces in between, what you're describing is a very important portion of that. And I think it's really important for those of us who are here now and those of us who may be listening to the playback, or it's your otter that's talking to you and it just happens to sound like our voice. Remembering that frequency, anchoring that frequency, calling in that frequency, gridding that frequency, and then activating that in a very like, whether it's like solar, galactic, cosmic way, we're all playing our part basically. And that's kind of what we're talking about as far as like calibration too, right? That's like a thread. There are many threads to it, but that's a thread of it essentially. Not just like saying the words like, oh, I am, like imagine you're praying like before when we weren't spiritual, and you're just speaking the words. It's not just like saying the words, it's not reading the words on my PowerPoint or listening to them on the playback. It's actually like that frequency of embodiment. It's your levels, layers, dimensions, realities, your aura, your physical body, mental body, and emotional body. Because we can say words all day, but like you know deep down, like this is who I am, right? I know that this is like fate, this is Glenn, this is who I am deep down to my core, and there's no, like I fall asleep with myself at night, so yeah, I'm getting off on a tangent, thank you. Yeah, and it's I'll bring it back into the conversation. What I was going to say is, a lot of times as we're doing this and we're located on, Mother Earth, Mama Gaia, as we step into that higher frequency, right, that higher level of remembrance, that pure consciousness of quantum harmonization, we become our Merkaba is our toroidal field, and we become an energetic node on the planet, right? And we connect into the planetary consciousness. And if you imagine you're in the sun's radiance room, and you are embodying that frequency, fully embodying that frequency, fully standing in that very multi-dimensionality of yourself, and radiating that out, connecting to this tree of life that we were describing, connecting to this very live, organic, high-dimensional, high-frequency tree, you become an energetic node on that as well, and you're contributing to that consciousness. You're contributing to that frequency. You are connected into not just our solar system, but as above, so below, but all of the different levels and layers moving up all the way past 12D Armatina, all the way past 24D, all the way up, connecting back to past your oversoul, past your avatar, into your monad, and back towards unity consciousness. This is from Natalia.
Yeah.
And if you wanted to share, Natalia, what was coming through for you too, would love to hear.
Yeah, so this was gifted to me and the meditation that you brought forth. And when Lenny was mentioning about Egypt and everything. So these are the pyramids. One is over in Vegas. There's a pyramid building over there, the Luxor, I guess, something like that. And then the Louvre, it's all glass. That's the mirror aspect of it. Even the one on Vegas, there's some windows and whatnot. It's a combination of both. And then, of course, the pyramid over in Egypt. And there's this building that was shown to me that the top of that's the center of it. And it has, I don't know where it's located. They're not giving me the information of the name and the place of this building, but it has some kind of a sun, like a circular golden circle thing that it reflected the sun. And that is a ping to send out to all of the pyramids. There are pyramids that yet to be discovered, they were saying. And then that comes with the message of ninth temple template was being uploaded as I was seeing all of his images. And oh my God, they're exactly where ley lines at for the grid working. So this is just the beginning of what they're shown to me.
Do they look like the
Wow.
top of obelisks to you?
It's like the top of it, so it's like a very tall tower. It's a tower building, and the siding it's very ancient. I don't know where it's at, but it's very ancient. That is the center point, and it's been trying to send things. It's like, yo, people, this is where it's at, but
Wasn't there
somehow,
9
some way,
pyramids when we visited too? I think we saw 9 pyramids at the top of a building here. They have a garden, and the Mormons have 9 glass pyramids on the top of it in the garden. So that's interesting that you channeled 9. I like that.
and the top of it, it has, if you really pay attention, it has all of the elements, right? It has the nuclear to the circles, the wave of the water element, the air element. It has all of the elements. Hence, that is the center point of it. So it's calling everyone to just completely tune in. If you can find them, you find them. And it's a puzzle. It's a part of a puzzle. That's the clue. And then this is very interesting. So it's like a timeline, right? It's a timeline. So the very bottom of it, it's the ancient part of it. And then it's underwater. That's the water comes from. And then yet there's still life form. There are plants that is growing up from there. And then those are seeds that is growing up towards the ground where we're at right now. And we get to weave this beautiful, that's where the Venus heart comes from. And then I was shown, I cannot draw a dragon for the life of me, but I was shown pink dragon, to be honest, coming in, swooping in, circling in. The goddess Venus, the planet Venus, it's all in body one. It's the mother energy. It's love for all, humanity. It's not the HU, it's hue. It's different rainbows. It doesn't matter gold, diamond, prismatic. It's all kind of hues. And this is the gift that she's given us. It's this plant. It's almost like a combination of different greeneries, different flowers, but it all combines into one, which is love. Love for all. And then again, the nine temple template. Somehow, some way, those were uploaded to me. I don't know how many stars that was drawn. I just keep drawing it until they say stop, and I stop. And it's just, oh my God, so many cells, so many different cells, so many different structures. Yes, DNA is being recalibrated, calibration, it's all upgrading for the highest purpose, highest timeline possible. And it doesn't matter what your background is, what your belief is, it's back to the origin. That's what they're saying to me.
These were shared by Aurora, too. The Merkaba.
So yeah, the two tetrahedron Merkaba is the first stage of the Merkaba. So that's right now the humanity is activating, and the second, this one is the second stage. So that's the future Merkaba our light body is going to evolve into. So lots of us are related to the Unified Galactic Council and also Council of the Unified Elder. So we are a group of souls existed before the duality. We are also called the blueprinter soul. Our mission is to restore the universe to its original divine blueprint. So before the duality, or at some point, we split the blueprint into several pieces, and we stored them in different part of the earth and also part of the star in different planet. So now we are going to piece them back together. So I'm the key to unlock those pyramid or vault. So I unlocked, I opened one in Mount Kailash, in Mount Kailash. And so I'm going to open another one underneath Sphinx. And there are totally 9 of those pyramid or temple.
Yeah, thank you for doing all of the work that you're doing. I know you've been traveling around a lot, grid working it, and all of us here on the call, and if you listen to the playback too, are doing our own versions of that. We carry the keys and the codes, and we exchange that with one another. One thing I did want to point out too is the new Merkaba that was pictured here is also don't limit yourself to just, you know, a picture. So if you're seeing a picture and you're feeling resonant in, okay, the updated frequency of the Merkaba, maybe this is something that feels resonant. Maybe yours looks a little bit different. My personal Merkaba the updated frequency looks different than this one. And other people that have told me what they've seen in their new Merkaba looks a little bit different than that one. And I just want to say that it's completely okay to, however your Merkaba is, and maybe you're not even connected to your Merkaba, and that's okay as well too. So did you have anything for the Stargate specifically? I love that you dropped this in there. I was like blown away. And I like that Mercury and Venus were right next to one another, and that was a direct reflection of what we were channeling.
Yes, so on Earth there are 12 Stargate 来自 aligned with the 12 planet in our solar system, like those Mars, Mercury, Venus, and also the 12 Stargate is aligned with the 12 Stargate in the Milky Way galaxy. So after we all piece the blueprint back together, we are going to send the blueprint across the galaxy to restore the original blueprint to the whole Milky Way galaxy. So we are all part of this our soul group that's working on this mission. So we are called the blueprint souls. We all carry the part of the blueprint and the keys.
Love that. And what a great map. And what a great drawing, by the way. Thank you, Christina.
Yeah, I love this, Christina. I don't know, did you share this one with us yesterday? I mean, I know I saw all of them, but what was coming through for you on this one? Love this one so much. There's so much happening in this.
As I look at it, I'm kind of...
I took forever to get on mute. What do you see, Lenny?
Oh, you're good. I thought you were maybe typing, so I was just gonna fill the time, but go ahead.
I'm trying to upload what it looks like now, but when I started it, so I did like the grid last night and was like, that's interesting. And at some point this morning while I was telling my son, I just wanted to start drawing it, so I did. And I'm like, well, that kind of looks like an eye. And those kind of look, at first it looked like spider webs, then it started to kind of look more like neurons and vessels, and it was like I try not to get too attached to what it could look like. It's just like, oh well, that's cool. I like that color. I don't, because otherwise my brain will totally take over and try to make it into something. So I don't try really hard not to do that. Yeah, curious to hear what you guys. Okay, I can upload it.
I mean, there's a lot of good juicy bits here. for me. And I mean, on a grand scale, it kind of, in a way, looks like duality, or the dual parts of the duality coming together in the polarity spectrum, but whole and harmonized. And it's reminding me a little bit of, like, I've heard people talking about how, like, on a really big scale, what's happening in the universe is that the Milky Way and the Andromedan galaxies are like coming together to merge to form this like harmonized full spectrum. And so that's really kind of what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing one eye and another eye, and they're connected and they're exchanging information. But as they do, it's like the neural networks are growing, expanding. And as that's happening, it's like coming together in this full circle picture. And as I'm looking at it more in that light, it almost is also looking like the tree of life to me as well, where you know how the tree of life has like the roots and then the trunk and then the leaves up here. And that's kind of also what I'm seeing in the representation of the two kind of systems coming together, is forming that full spectrum system, and then just like harmonizing around it. It's beautiful.
The Chinese finger trap, I totally saw that in the connecting thing, because as I started to put detail on that, it was like, that's for later, because you're gonna have to like have a light, like a little desk light on or something. I think I'm gonna be doing some kind of texture. But so when you were talking about just the way a finger trap like appears, the texture of it, that's what I started to see in there.
As a
There's
Chinese
the
person,
updated one.
I don't know what is a Chinese finger trap. I'm going to look it up.
Had one at some point. It's like it's shaped like a cylinder, and it says the size of your finger, and it's open-ended on both sides. So you put one finger on this side and one finger on the other side, and then you try to pull your fingers apart, and it, as the finger trap expands with the space that your fingers are creating, it contracts around your fingers. So your fingers don't come out. It just like the cylinder itself gets skinnier and lengthens around it. Well, this has been super fun, you guys. I'm always so happy to meet in this way and to share ideas and thoughts and pings and expansion and growth. Winding down, taking a couple of deep breaths, anchoring in our heart space, coming to a space of completion together in love and gratitude for one another, for ourselves, for the councils that have stepped forward to assist and co-create with us, to the unified field, to all of our helpers, guides, and friends, dragons, unicorns, galactic children, plethora of harmonisticians, calling all of our energy back to us, cleansed and cleared. Any energy that is not ours that was used for this session today to be released back to the void, back to source, fully transmuted, back to 0 point energy. Thanking our planetary systems and our sun for holding space for us today. And one last big thank you to each and every one of you. Thank you so much for being here. We'll see you next time.